Okay, get this. What if I told you the lobster roll, that fancy summer sandwich, used to be prison food? Seriously. Or that one of the oldest sandwiches on Earth actually comes from ancient China? Well, today we're unwrapping all the surprising hidden stories behind some of the world's most iconic sandwiches. From street corners to fancy restaurants, we're gonna see that these aren't just meals. They're literally history you can hold in your hands. I mean, think about your favorite sandwich for a second. It's never just bread and filling, is it? No, it's so much more. It's a reflection of a specific place, a moment in time, and, the people who first came up with it. It's basically a story you can eat. And that's the core idea we're digging into today. We're kind of going to be food detectives, right? Piecing together all the clues, the history, the culture, the sheer ingenuity that's all hidden away between the buns of these legendary meals. So, yeah, what are their secrets? What are those hidden origins, those surprising twists, and the cultural stories that turn these simple meals into absolute global legends? All right, let's find out. All right, so we're going to start our journey in a place that has, you could argue, truly perfected the art of the sandwich, the good old United States. We're going coast to coast to look at some of the absolute heavy hitters. So check this out. It's like two sides of the same coin. You've got the classic hamburger, right? Born in Connecticut around 1900. Its whole deal is that perfect balance of toppings on the outside. But then you go to Minneapolis, and they just completely flip the script with the Juicy Lucy. They stuff the cheese inside the patty. And yeah, that's what creates that legendary and, let's be honest, dangerously hot molten cheese core. And that idea of a sandwich totally defining a place, well, it's perfectly captured by the Philly cheesesteak. I mean, this isn't just a meal, it's the soul of a city on a roll. It was born out of pure necessity, the hunger of laborers and the resources they had right there. Like those incredible Italian bakeries that made the perfect, sturdy roll to hold it all together. And here's another great example where a single ingredient tells a huge story of immigration. The beef on Weck is, don't get me wrong, delicious. But the Cummelwick roll, that's the real star of the show. Those caraway seeds and coarse salt on top, well, that's a direct link to the German immigrants who settled in Western New York and brought their very specific and very delicious baking traditions with them. Okay, when you think of a lobster roll today, you're probably picturing a summer vacation, right? Maybe a bit of a splurge. It's totally seen as this high-end luxury item, a symbol of New England's coastal charm. But that was absolutely not always the case, not even close. I mean, can you even believe that? Back in the 1800s, lobsters were so incredibly abundant, they'd just wash up on beaches in these huge piles. They were considered food for the poor, for servants, and yeah, even for prisoners. It's gotta be one of the greatest culinary rebrandings in all of history. And speaking of melting pots, the Cuban sandwich is an absolute masterpiece of cultural fusion. It was born in the cigar factories of Florida. Just think about it. You've got Spanish pork, Italian ham, Swiss cheese, and German pickles, all of it pressed together on that one-of-a-kind crispy Cuban bread. It's literally a whole history of immigration in one single bite. Okay, let's pack our bags because now we're heading overseas. And you'll see that the themes we've just been talking about, immigration, economics, regional pride, they play out in some pretty incredible ways all around the globe. I want you to meet the Rujiao Mo. Now, it's often called the Chinese hamburger, but honestly, it is in a league of its own. We're talking deeply flavorful, slow-braised pork that's been stuffed into this amazing flatbread called a mo. But the most incredible thing about it isn't just the taste, it's the history. I mean, just look at this timeline. This is wild. The origins of the Rujiao Mo go back thousands of years, all the way to the Zhou dynasty in China. This isn't just an old sandwich, folks. It's arguably one of the oldest sandwich-style meals in human history. It predates pretty much everything else we've talked about by millennia. It's just staggering. And this brings us back to a really universal theme, the worker's lunch. It's fascinating. On one side of the world, you have the vada pav in India, a spicy deep-fried potato patty that was created in the 60s as cheap filling fuel for Mumbai's textile mill workers. And then, all the way on the other side of the globe, you have the pepperoni roll, invented by Italian immigrants in West Virginia because they needed a meal that wouldn't spoil deep inside a coal mine. How cool is that? Two totally different cultures, one shared purpose, feeding the working person. Okay, now for the really fun part. What happens when a sandwich just breaks all the rules? Let's look at a couple of creations that completely reimagine what a sandwich can even be. Okay, you gotta get ready for this. First up, the Danish boeuf sandwich. You build a burger and then you smother the entire thing in thick, hot brown gravy. Yes, you are absolutely going to need a knife and fork for that one. Then over in Malaysia, you have the Ramly burger, which has this absolutely ingenious step where they wrap the patty in a thin layer of fried egg. It's such a brilliant way to trap all the delicious sauces and just keep everything from falling apart. So, after this whole journey, what's the big takeaway? Well, from ancient China to the mines of West Virginia, from fancy lobster rolls to a burger drenched in gravy, I think we've seen that a sandwich is almost never just lunch, is it? It's a real tangible piece of history. It tells a story of immigration, of economic necessity, and sometimes just pure culinary genius. So really, there's only one question left. What are you having for lunch? Because now, the next time you order one, you'll know you're not just choosing what's in it. You're choosing what story you want to eat.